The problem, of course, the British have is that we all live now in the panopticon. So if you are ever hearing or watching this, of course, we live logically in a prison. So Elon Musk has put these satellites above us and we can't see them, but they're observing us from space because they're connected to these things in our hand. These things have cameras, these are basically eyes, and the eyes can be put on things and be poked around. So at any time of the day, you could potentially have a camera pointing at your face. So for young people growing up in the world today, they're effectively in sort of a digital prison. Their every movement can be tracked and studied from the moment they're born, which given the state of the country is particularly frightening and sinister. So you've got to give them tools to actually fairly navigate that in the modern world. So Arthurian Christianity just sort of works because it's sort of Protestant Christianity via a sort of amniotic sac of existence via the communications technology. So you just tell the truth and tell people to piss off if they don't like it. So the old ones, the internet, of course, back in the day was effectively that, because it was based on ones and zeros, it was logic. So there was a gatekeeping mechanism into it, which was you had to be intelligent enough to use it, therefore you had to be honest, right? So just logical inference. But as the barrier to entry lowered, as with many things, the less honest people started turning up, and therefore, as it became used more in professional circles, that caused corruption, etc., etc. So Birmingham, you've got to think that because of the sanitation fell apart, think about how their IT security went, right? So your data is in the hands of those people. I was speaking to a woman down in Wigan, I think, who was saying that she believes the ULEZ money, or whatever it's called, is in the hands of gangs, and this is apparently well known, and she tried to get things from them and had no response. And of course I've now confirmed that by being one of their court officers for 17, now I've worked there for 17 years, and some woman I've never met is saying, well, having considered every possible matter, so I'm effectively God, I've decided that you're going to die now, so goodbye, I'm going to attack you and not call police. So this is, again, what's happening in Birmingham, but this is why it works. So we are in the panopticon, so if Argentieri, Southall, Jones, Scriven, Hart, Naylor, Bridget Jones, any of these people could be found and interviewed, they're just done, absolutely finished. So you've got to think, kids, as long as you tell the truth and you tell it forcefully enough, and you can do it in an Arthurian sense, you don't have to be in a crowded theatre or in a baseball court pointing at people. You can see the interaction happen, see the attack, back off, put it into a witness statement, put it through, and if you told the truth, made the correct inference, then eventually either you'll get justice, or things were never just in the first place and you're wasting your time. So as someone who watches over Birmingham, you are wasting your time if you're trying to make a life there as someone British, because you're being deliberately attacked and stolen from. I would suggest getting out effectively and suing the local authority for damages for quote-unquote anti-racism. And what the legal process is going through, of course, those guys I'm sure will go hard in Manchester, and it'll all fall down. The chain is crumbling around, and we need to keep pushing, but as soon as the law enforcement start showing up with forensic database auditors, the will and representation of the Christians is going to be really, really hard at the moment. You don't play with our kind of warriors. Again, the whole deal of the religion is, I owe you nothing, literally nothing. I don't owe you a penny. And if that is not the arrangement within Birmingham, based on my career, then it's quite obvious that you're going to get sued, because we're not going to be chased out of Birmingham by hostile activists. We owe these people nothing. David Gilbourne is clearly going to be criminally liable, and again, these people are a security concern, so can be removed. So the panopticon could be your master, or it could be your servant. So if you're spending your time catching corrupt and evil people, you're probably going to do fairly well out of it, whereas they can flail around with people who don't exist, because as soon as the eye is upon them, they're going to burst effectively into flames.